And we're here. I am here with Steller, also known as Angelica, live from Forbidden Kingdom.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, good.
Good. You just got off stage. How was your set?
It was sick and super hot.
Oh my God, it is so hot. No, I'm glad to hear it went well. We were talking about before your set, you kind of like to play full songs out, which I'm very much so the same. So how did that go?
Good. I think it was well received. Like, I just rather like have the crowd like go on a journey with me than, I think it's like important to appreciate like the whole song. At least not the whole song, but like a
Absolutely.
good portion of it.
Definitely, and I feel like, especially playing like earlier in the day, it's so important that you kind of give people time to breathe. And I just feel like, especially being at like an all dubstep festival like FK, I look at it like mini Lost Lands almost, but it's so important to kind of like, there are so many DJs and producers that are throwing just all banger sets. And I'm someone that, like, even though you're a little bit more experimental, like, I'm kind of on this melodic side, but like the whole song is super important. And I heard that a lot in your new EP, which you just released, which you were super stoked. First EP, right?
Yep, I know. I'm so like happy. I think a lot of people enjoyed it, and it was, yeah, I'm so stoked with like how everyone.
Yeah,
received it.
absolutely. I remember Pepe, who's your manager and also the talent buyer curator here. I mean, how has it been kind of not only being picked up by him, but seeing him transform from this small concept festival to now you're his artist and he's like working underneath Insomniacs?
I know, it's crazy. Like, it happened so quick. Like last year with Forbidden Kingdom, obviously like it was a huge success and it was great. And then like I feel like within a few months, like all this started happening, and he was telling me about the whole Insomniac thing, and it just like exploded. So it's awesome. I feel super grateful, and it's cool to just like be a part of everything and like
Absolutely.
also see him like growing too with like Insomniac and stuff. So
Yes, and I think that's really cool too. Whereas like a lot of times you'll get more of an established team to pick up like a newer artist, and then they kind of throw them into the realm. But I feel like you and Pepe are really like growing together, which is super, super cool. And long term, I feel like he's the type of guy where you may have him for the rest of your career.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is which is very, very rare, and it's a super awesome position to be in.
Yes.
And you originally played the Forbidden Kingdom, the last one, like 2 years ago on the like side stage, right? So that's huge. Going from that to playing main stage.
Yeah, I know. That's like, it was so funny. Like last year, I played like the Village, like local artist stage, and I mean there was still like a good amount of people there, but obviously nothing compares to like a main stage. So yeah, it's crazy. Like going from that to the main stage.
No, absolutely. And were there some people there? Did some people show up early? When I came in at like 10 a.m., there was already a line.
You mean here?
Yes, today.
I feel like towards the middle and end, people started like coming a little bit more. But yeah, there was a decent crowd,
That's
and I think they
awesome.
were all vibing. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they were. It's perfect too with like the wonkier kind of music that you make to just like start out the day and not be like, okay, it's 105 degrees outside, let's like headbang into a wall.
That's why I was like, I hope everyone's like able to enjoy, because like it's so hot out that, yeah, hopefully everyone's staying hydrated.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh, I feel like all I'm drinking is water. And especially with like Insomniacs moving a lot of their concepts down here to Florida because of everything going on in California, they just don't know Florida weather or the heat. So it's crazy to see a like very legitimate festival this in the summer in Florida.
Yeah, I know. And at least like it's not raining, but
Yeah.
it's fine. Florida weather. I
No,
guess.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So since you started kind of with Pepe around that time at Forbidden Kingdom, when we went into COVID and like quarantine and everything, were you just kind of in the position where you were going to focus on how you were going to evolve your sound, working on the new EP and all of that stuff? Or like what was the process that you kind of went through when everything shut down?
That's pretty much all I did, was just like working on music and trying to like hone in my sound. And I did release the EP like during COVID, I guess, like towards the tail end. That's really all I could do. We were all like, locked up inside, but it did give me a chance to like really focus on like my music and have that like quiet mind space and just really, yeah.
I know, because everything now is just ramping up so much, and I feel like I'm going left, right. There's like no time to breathe because there's just so many things going on, and the market has moved down here to Florida to the point where events
Like
are
super
just here.
quick too. I feel like out of nowhere, all of a sudden, like
Yeah.
everything's here. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you played out in Denver for a drive-in, right? How was that?
Also something I did during COVID, which I feel like super lucky to have done. It was really such a cool experience, like the amount of cars that actually came, and like you were really far away from like the crowd, I guess. But it was still cool. You could feel like the energy and you could hear them, and yeah.
Was it weird? Like, was it like people honking their horns when like bass dropped?
No, actually, people were like pretty respectful, and like
Oh, no way.
they decorated their cars with like lights and stuff, and like they each had like a little area where they can get out and like dance. But yeah, no one was really honking, and everyone was kind of just like vibing with their little pod areas.
That's freaking awesome. Definitely. And you worked on the anthem for Forbidden Kingdom with Jessica. I just saw her. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you. How did that feel? Like,
That was like crazy. Like I'm so grateful to have done that, and it was super fun because like we blended both of our sounds, I think, pretty well. Like obviously hers is like way heavier, and then the second drop was like my experimental drop, but I think it definitely like embodies the like Forbidden Kingdom vibe, because it's obviously a heavy bass music festival, but there's also like the more experimental side too.
I feel like you get that a lot when you get like all bass festivals where it's not as spread out. You'll get that like where you get the subgenres. Well, you'll have the melodic bass, the future rhythm, the super heavy dubstep, and then you'll get like the weird wonky Wakan stuff because there's like a Wakan takeover, I think today or tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be like super, super sick.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that's the point of a collab. So it's like when I listened to it, I was like, okay, Jessica's here.
Like you could
Stellar's
definitely
here.
tell the difference.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
No, but it's awesome. I love how Pepe's like all for like women. Like he's pretty much the reason why I have this podcast here, which like he's super, super, super dope. And I feel like the more people who can be in like higher positions like him and really like take the front foot forward and keep empowering like women who are actually making their own music and all of that stuff, like the better it's gonna be.
Totally agree
You know?
with you. Yeah.
And it's super, super cool to see. I feel like now when I started, I looked in like the four corners of the country and like there were like the really big women producers like Allison and Rez, and now I see girls everywhere.
That's so true. Yeah. When did you start making music?
So I did engineering for like metal and like post-hardcore, and then I switched over to this about 4 years ago. So I was like 20.
Okay.
So I'm 24 now. So how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, perfect. I thought we were around the same age. I was like, we're probably around there. But yeah, so it was just kind of like understanding the language of like the DAW. And then you work in Ableton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's the Ableton's the
I know. Yeah. Just I can't say anything else. It's just great. I love working in Ableton. Yeah.
No, and that's and it's super cool. So is there anything like coming up that you are excited for that you can like tease for us or anything like that?
Honestly, like just this show is what I was super excited for, and I'm gonna be like releasing some songs like over the summer. But most of like the upcoming shows are to be determined for now.
Yeah.
Definitely hoping to play some shows though, like this summer.
I'm sure you will. This kind of
Yeah.
stuff helps with it like a lot, and it's so nice. I remember at like Sunset, it was the first time I had had media since COVID, so it was
Yeah.
like, oh my god,
Craziness.
photographer.
I know. I like always forget that they're there when I'm playing because I'm so just like focused and anxious about my set.
Yes.
And then I'm like, oh my god, I should probably like interact with the photographer a little bit.
I have whacked them in the face before. Like I've totally forgot they were
know.
there, and it's
Yeah.
just like a mess. And then you're like, oh shit, I'm sorry.
I know they're good sports about it. I
No,
guess.
they definitely are, and they're in all black too, and it's so hot.
I know. Craziness.
Could not be me.
Yeah.
Never. But yeah. So thank you for coming to sit down here with me
Inviting
today.
me. This was sick. It was my first podcast. Like I'm so.
I know they're a little bit shorter, so we'll have to do one like in person sometime when it's not like live from a festival where you've got all this other shit going
Yeah,
on where we can
yeah.
actually talk. But I did want to ask you one more thing.
Sure.
So I know you're from Southern Florida, right?
Mhm.
So how did you like know this is what you wanted to do? I'm always curious to ask that question.
I've like always known I wanted to be in music. I didn't know it was gonna be this path, but like I started playing electric guitar when I was 10 years old. I'm a classically trained vocalist. I went to college for audio engineering. So I knew I just wanted to do music. And then like when I was like growing up and a teenager, I lived near Miami, so it was really easy for me to go to like underground shows and stuff. I just like fell in love with the electronic music. I feel like there's so much you can do with it, and like I had to choose that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's very similar to like my path and like what I kind of followed. Do you
Yeah.
ever have intentions to like pick up the guitar and start intertwining it into
For
your
sure.
music and
Yeah,
stuff?
I've been slacking a bit just because I've been super focused
Yeah.
on like all like in the box stuff, but I definitely want to incorporate because I like incorporating like more like organic like sounds and stuff. So I definitely want to add some.
I mean, I feel like that's the future of this music is because you see just a totally different like tier and level of artists when you
Yeah.
start incorporating like live vocals or instrumentation.
Yeah.
And that's the future, I feel like, of this, even though it's very producer based. Like the more that you can incorporate a way for you to be unique and stand out, because like the playing field, even though women like on a big scale are definitely a minority in our industry,
Yeah.
there's so many more who do it now. So I just feel like the more that we can start like making things as unique as possible, we will like for sure have the upper hand in the future, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on to
Thank
talk
you for
today.
having
I
me.
appreciate you, Angelica.
This was sick.
Yes, I'm gonna drop the EP below. Everyone, please go check out her music, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.